The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. This is what 61 years old feels like. I had a moment this morning because normally the first person that would wake me up on March 11th was always my father. He would remind me that he was going to name me Selma because that's where he was when I was born in Greenville, South Carolina. And of course, my mother, to her everlasting credit, intervened in that process and said, no, he will not be named Selma just because you're marching from Selma to Montgomery. He's going to be named Jesse Jackson Jr. And the more I think about it, it's the highest honor of my life to carry the name of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. I gave it to my son, Jesse Jackson III. I also gave it to my daughter, Jessica Jackson, and I'm particularly honored that birthday number 61 is right here on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our regular contributor is none other than P.L. De Silva. P.L. De Silva is a scholar, a professor, a thinker, a diplomat, a negotiator on behalf of peace and justice around the world. And he is on Wealthy Wednesdays, our regular contributor on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. P.L., welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you, Jesse, and a very happy birthday to you.
I appreciate that very much. P.L., let me begin with the obvious. The administration is now claiming that it had no idea that Iran would not engage in mano-a-mano fighting. Hi, Professor Sipes. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Jess.
I'm sorry. I'm so glad that you popped up. I'll let P.L. introduce you in just a moment. It doesn't look like Iran's going mano-a-mano with the United States, but it seems to be lashing out at everyone in the region, from Bahrain to the Qatari to any nation within the reach of their strategic arms reserves. P.L., what does this mean for the world? Where are we going with this process that Donald Trump has gotten us into?
So I'm going to give a few quotes from soon after the classified, the closed-door classified briefing at the U.S. Senate. So Senator Ed Markey said, Trump is out of control. And he said that he attacked Iran because he had a feeling. And then Senator Markey goes on to say that there is no clue of the endgame. Then Senator Elizabeth Warren said, there is no plan. It's all based on lies. And then Senator Chris Van Hollen said there's complete incoherence, and Netanyahu decided the script.
From West Chester and why?
So I find it fairly interesting that the president, Dr. Seid, says that he has a feeling. I thought in a moment that he was auditioning for the Black Eyed Peas, that he's got a feeling. And holy mackerel, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson is now joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Hi, Professor Dyson. How are you? This was my seminary professor when I was at Chicago Theological Seminary. Professor
Happy
Seid,
birthday to you, my man. Had to call and wish you happy birthday, sir. 61, like Roger Maris breaking Babe Ruth's record. 61.
Professor Dyson, thank you for joining us on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. And thank you for coming on to wish me a happy birthday. I know that we have 2 minutes before we come forward, but Dr. Dyson, let me now apply the same question to Dr. Aubrey Hendricks, who is joining us. Oh boy. Hi, Dr. Hendricks. I was trying to get an answer to a question about Iran, but I can't stop reading Aubrey Hendricks' wonderful posts about my father and the magnificent speech delivered by my brother Jonathan Jackson at my father's memorial. Dr. Hendricks, looking forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on like my brother, Michael Dyson, to wish you a happy birthday, brother, and tell you how proud I am of you, brother, for your commitment to the struggle, your eloquence, your political acuity, and to recommit us. I've told you personally that I will, support you in any way that I possibly can, brother, to help as you move forward to live out your father's legacy and try to bring some justice and sanity to this government.
Dr. Hendricks, so much of my strength comes from your theological understanding and the books that you've written, Christians Against Christianity, The Politics of Jesus, and of course, my seminary professor, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. Most of us don't stick our feet in this hot water or even stick our neck across the fence unless our faith precedes us. And both you and Dr. Dyson are two of the most notable biblical scholars and theologians in our African-American tradition that have ever existed. And I want to thank you for the courage and for the strength that you provide to the spines and to the backbones of generations of African-Americans and progressives, regardless of their race, sex, or class, who read both of your extraordinary work.
Thank you, Congressman. Look forward to you and Jonathan shaking hands in the halls of Congress soon.
Professor Hendricks, it would be my high honor to have the privilege of serving with my brother in that auspicious institution. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's my birthday. And I've been surprised at the very beginning of our show, for which I am extremely grateful. Thank you to our producer, Gina Towns, and to our engineer, Taz Scott. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 15.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable, all month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Happy Febreze. La, 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 la.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Looking forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It's my birthday. And as you all can imagine, I've been a little down lately. This is the first birthday I have had where I did not hear from my father first thing in the morning to remind me of the context of my birth. March 11th, 1965. My father was in Selma, Alabama. My mother was in Greenville, South Carolina. My father sent my mother to Greenville knowing that she was 9 months ready to give birth to me. What he did not fully appreciate was the significance of what was taking place from Selma to Montgomery. So he calls Greenville, South Carolina, and he tells my mother that he wants his firstborn son to be named Selma. And I think I probably looked up from my mother right at that point and said, don't let him do that. Don't let him do that, even before I could speak the English language. And she said, you know what? I'm with you, Jesse Jr. You're Jesse Jr. And so she named me Jesse Jackson Jr., and my father ultimately agreed with that. And here we are with these names. And, you know, it's like the names in the Bible. They have a way of following you, and you begin reading the stories of the circumstances of your birth, and they put you right there in contextualized history. This is Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our regular contributors, P.L. Da Silva, and I know that Dr. Sipes is also joining us on this show and during this hour. In the previous segment, a couple of surprise guests, including Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, who is still here, and Dr. Obery Hendricks, who is still here. I wasn't quite expecting that. Dr. Dyson, let me ask you a question that I tried to launch for Dr. Sipes and P.L. Da Silva. From your perspective, Dr. Dyson, what does this preemptive strike on Iran and the spreading of this global crisis truly represent?
Well, I wish we could resolve it with the words of a song sung by the man who sang at your father's funeral on Saturday, Stevie Wonder, when he said, Iraq, Iran, and everything, don't you worry about a thing. Well, we worried right now because this autocrat, this dictator, this, if you will, foolish fascist and a man who is a demagogue has decided to start a war of choice against Iran. But we know it's in cahoots with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Donald Trump of Israel. So they are hail fellows well met. And this is something that, you know, Netanyahu tried to get Biden and people before Trump to get involved with, but he's the only dupe to take the bid of this equally problematic leader of Israel, and now committing war that has no end, that has no objective clearly articulated, has no consent of Congress, and has no, if you will, logic that would inform it other than the pursuit of oil, the denial of, you know, the right of people to be governed by those they choose. Now, we're not trying to romanticize, you know, the legal and leadership structure of Iran, because we know thuggery prevails, but thuggery prevails here. Is somebody going to invade us and then dispose of our president and get one of their choosing? This is a colonial gesture, an imperial impulse that has to be seen in concert with so many other things. The invasion of Venezuela, for example, by a president who has no bounds. The extreme court will not impose restraints.
Not the extreme
court seem to be deferring to him, especially when the appeals court seems to have his back, and the Congress doesn't seem to have the wherewithal to oppose him. So this man is basically exercising illegitimate authority in ways that are highly destructive.
Dr. Dyson, let me just share with everyone that we've been joined by a man who needs no introduction. And of course, it's my 61st birthday. So my producer and my producer, Gina Towns, has organized an extraordinary show. But my father saw Reverend Al Sharpton in the tradition of being a disciple of his, and more specifically, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend James Meeks and I were called to be disciple. I said, I just want to be your son. But Reverend Sharpton stepped right up and said, I can assume this responsibility, a man who needs no introduction and a man whose leaderships I have come to profoundly respect over the course of my life. Reverend Sharpton, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show with Aubrey Hendricks, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, Professor Sipes, Dr. P.L. De Silva. So glad that you're here, Reverend.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm in the middle of my radio show, but I had to call so that people around the nation know that your birthday is a very special day because what you have personified is you brought a new level of taking your family, both your mother and father's work, to another level. And even when, and I have questions whether it was fair or not, but even when you had problems, you have now personified for millions of people that they can redeem themselves. So God has used you in a special way to show how you can rise. And even when they wrongfully take you down, you can rise again. So I think the meaning of your life is more important than what you could ever imagine. And I learned a lot. Your father was a major influence, was the major influence in my life. But I also learned a lot from you, the resilience and the strength you show. And let me tell you, people need to understand, for the 17 years you were in Congress, you were productive. Getting you to come have a press conference was like, trying to rob a bank. Frank Watkins and you would, no, we're about policy. You didn't showboat. You got stuff done. You believed in policy. We used to sometimes neglect calling you because you're going to give us a 10-minute lecture on Reverend Al. Do you know about HR 123? No, you don't know. Let me tell you that. You are as serious as anybody I've met in life. And I just want you to know, I've known your father since I was 12 years old. So I just about known you since you were born. I've known you since you was about 4, 5, because you're right behind me. And you've grown. You are a giant in your own making. You're not just his junior, but you have brought it to another level. So I wanted to break it up from my show to wish you a happy birthday. Know how much we love you. A lot of the crowds are gone since the funeral's over. I will never be gone until my funeral. I'm going to be with the Jacksons, whether y'all like it or not, especially Jesse Jr.
I know that I'm going to be losing Reverend Sharpton to his own radio show, but I want you all to know that since I've lost my father and my brothers and sisters have lost our father, in this moment, when I see you, Reverend Sharpton, Reverend Hendricks, Dr. Dyson, and of course, our other 2 contributors, I see my dad. And I see all of the people who are influencing his thinking, including debating with him. And I feel like I'm in that space and that his spirit dwells within each of us. And ultimately, I think when we all come together, Reverend Sharpton, we're all going to feel the same way when we feel his presence, because he left each and every one of us with a unique impression, an impression that is the sum of who he was and who he is in our hearts. Thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
No doubt about it. Let me thank you for that. And let me also say that I was reading, I get up at 4 and work out at 5. I was reading the program over again that we did for the funeral. And I was reading what Aubrey Hendricks wrote in the actual program. And I am, the first time I'm giving credit, but by the time I hit the road, that's going to be mine, Aubrey. That's all mine. You didn't write any.
No, you're welcome to it. You're welcome.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
I love you, Reverend Al. Appreciate you so much. Reverend Hendricks, let me ask you the same question. Evangelicals seem to be backing this conflict in the Middle East on religious and biblical grounds, suggesting the expansion of Israel proper belongs as far away from Jerusalem as Tehran. Professor Hendricks, your thoughts about the theological foundation that seems to be, and even biblically scholasticism, that angle on what this conflict means and is driving some of this behavior.
Yeah. I mean, they're just like in so many respects, they've got it wrong. Starting with the whole chosen people thing. Well, no, God chose them to exemplify what justice looks like in the world. They failed that, of course. And what we're looking at underlying is this Christian Zionism that actually is anti-Judaism, which calls for Israel to establish itself in that region, its hegemony, as a prelude to the second coming of Christ. in which they will be destroyed if they don't accept him as Messiah. So it's all backward. But more than that, the reason why this is there, the reason why America is supporting this has to do largely with racism, and anti-Islamism. It's political calculation is as Dr. Dyson said, it's just purely colonial, and it's white supremacist. And so there's no good reason for them to have for them to attack Tehran and to go in and kill their leader like that, and say they're going to kill anyone else who comes into leadership. And this is supposed to be suggestive of some kind of biblical or theological sanction. No, it's wrong. It's racist. It's supremacist, and it has to be revealed as such. And we must actively fight it, because they're not going to stop there. Israel wants to take over the whole region. They want all the Arab countries under their umbrella so they can exploit their resources. And in so doing, they at some point, I think they will be a menace to United States interests. They don't give a damn about the United States. It's all about them, the chosen people of Israel, even though they're Lithuanian, Polish, Russian, and don't have any Jewish roots that we can trace them to.
Dr. Sipes, the same question, sir. Where are we?
Well, I think, first of all, this is a very complex issue. And part of the thing that makes it so complex is because we've been told about lies about the United States' role in the world. We have been told that since 1945, we are just another country. And that's not true. Our ruling class has sought to dominate the countries of the world since at least 1945. We can take it back in specifics. I don't want to go there right now. The point being is that the United States is the homeland of the U.S. empire. And the U.S. empire thinks it can rule anything, it can wave its magic wand, etc. Now, we know the only part of the world that it couldn't rule from 45 to 1991 was the Soviet Union and its empire. But since then, the U.S. has been unchallenged. And I think Trump is just saying, he thought he would say boo and the Iranians would run away at him and give away to whatever he wanted. And what he found out is he was messing with the wrong people. Because I want to point out that of all the countries in the last 500 years, you can divide countries into those that are imperial, might makes right, they're going to go and rip and rob, and then the others that are victims. Well, of all the countries in Asia, Africa, Middle East, and Latin America, there are only two countries that were never colonized by an imperial country. One was Thailand, okay? The other was Iran, otherwise known as Persia. So here's a country with 5,500 or so years of culture, has never been conquered from outside, and Trump was stupid enough, because he knows nothing, but his idiots with him didn't realize that these were the wrong folks to mess with, and he's going to get a thumping.
PL, your thoughts on the thumping that's coming?
Yes, my grandmother used to tell me as a 7-year-old boy, "More to come to Betne" in the vernacular, which means there is no medicine for foolishness. And we have a bunch of fools in the White House running the administration, and we have another bunch of fools in the Pentagon who are not standing up and calling them out as they should. And therefore, we are seeing the decline and the decay of the American empire.
Dr. Dyson, we have about 2 minutes. I'm sorry, Dr. Sipes.
Well, I was just going to say, the other thing going on besides the foolishness in the administration is the lies and the propaganda being told by the American press, the mainstream press. You will notice in everything I've seen, people going back and saying things started in 1979. The wheels started falling off the train in 1979. The problem is what they're not admitting is in 1953, the U.S. under the CIA, commanded at that time by Kermit Roosevelt and the British MI6, overthrew Iran's democratically elected government under Mohammad Mossadegh. And nobody wants to deal with it. This problem in Iran that everybody says we have is a product of U.S. imperialism in 1953. And if they're not talking about 1953, they're lying. It's pure propaganda.
Yeah.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., and this is my 61st birthday, and I have some of the most extraordinary minds in modern thinking at any given moment. I know that some of our guests may have to leave, but I want to thank Professor Michael Eric Dyson. I want to thank Professor Aubrey Hendricks. I want to thank Professor Sipes and Professor Peel De Silva for joining me in this hour. More when we come forward on KBLA Talk 50 for our remaining guest, who I hope will still be with us. I look forward to our conversation. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., age 61, when we come forward.
It's afternoon drive time with Jesse Jackson Jr. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Aaliyah Henderson, the Black Cleveland mother accused of killing her 2 young daughters, appeared in court today as the case moves forward.
Your case is being referred to the grand jury at the request of the state of Ohio. Your bond is set at $2 million.
According to WKYC, prosecutors say the bodies of 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mila Chapman were discovered in suitcases buried in a shallow grave earlier this month. Henderson faces 2 counts of aggravated murder. President Trump says Iran's Navy and Air Force have been destroyed. Trump praised the U.S. military. He added the operation against Iran will continue. And tickets for the one-night-only showings of the Michael Jackson biopic Michael go on sale today. The early screening will take place April 22nd, with the wide release set for April 24th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are 6-1 in their last 7 games after beating Minnesota Tuesday night, 120-106 at Crypto.com. Luka Doncic had a triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. No LeBron last night. He missed his 3rd straight game with a sore elbow and a bruised hip. Until last night, Kobe Bryant's 81 points against Toronto in 2006 was the 2nd highest single-game total in NBA history. The 2nd highest game now belongs to Miami Heat forward Bam Adebayo. The 8-year veteran dropped 83 last night in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. Wilt Chamberlain is number 1 with his 100-point game in 1962 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Adebayo passed LeBron for the most points in a game in Miami franchise history. LeBron had 61 against Charlotte in 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort is now officially over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Folly drops the beat. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me.
Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It is my 61st birthday, March 11th, 1965. We are worldwide with Pio da Silva on Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Our very special contributor on this occasion is, of course, none other than Professor Sipes, as well as Professor Aubrey Hendricks is still with us in this hour. Dr. Hendricks, if I can pivot away from the conversation we were having in the last episode for a moment and just take a moment to reflect upon my father, Reverend Jackson. I know that you were one of his closest spiritual advisors and someone whom he had a profound respect for, so much so that even when I was incarcerated, he sent me all of your books and he said, study Aubrey Hendricks. Professor Hendricks, what is the legacy of the Reverend Jesse Jackson from your perspective?
You know, I tell you, since his death, I don't know, it's brought so much to mind. I've reflected on that legacy and how deep and how far-reaching it is. His legacy, it's just hard to describe in one conversation. I mean, for one thing, he inspired so many younger people. I'm not a lot younger than him. Well, I'm young enough, but I remember how inspired I was by his courage, by his style, by his the breadth of his political knowledge. I think also what would be understood more and more is the template that he provided. That's not that only I guess Bernie Sanders tried to follow, for really being populist, for really being concerned about the least and the left out. I think, though, that his shoes will be very hard to fill. I do know, though, if the Democratic Party or either party would pay more attention to how Reverend Jesse Jackson approached the issues and the humanity which undergirded everything that he said and did, and the fact that he really did encourage a rainbow coalition, I think that could really transform American politics, because more than anything else, Reverend Jesse Jackson focused on the question, what is just? You know, what treats people's needs as holy? And if we could embrace that again, ask the question, how do we love our neighbors as ourselves? How do we serve our neighbor as ourselves? I think that the political terrain could be greatly transformed.
And in this hour and in this moment, right in the middle of our 61st birthday celebration, crisscrossing the entire world, I shared with this particular young man and American hero some time ago that maybe the best thing that had ever happened to him was leaving institutional journalism, because I thought that what he truly had to offer was leadership for the American people in a way that institutionalized journalism was handicapping him. And so far, since his departure from institutionalized journalism, he has not disappointed me a single day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, none other than the great Don Lemon. Hey, Lemon. Don, I think you're muted.
Let me just say, sir, you old. I would say something, let me just put it this way. Your A is old. You know what that means. Your donkey's butt is old. So, look, the affinity that I have for, first of all, let me say your family, and then I will get to your dad. And I hope I don't get emotional about this. But I thank you so. Sorry.
Take your time, Don.
I thank you so much for inviting me to the funeral. But as you know, I've had so much loss. My own sister's plural in the last couple of years, and other family members who have passed. I couldn't. And so I must apologize for that, but I know that you understand. I watched every second of it, but I just couldn't, because I love you. I love Santita. I love Jonathan. I love Yousef so much. You guys embraced me when I moved to Chicago and became my family, my chosen family, and my family from, another mother and another father. And your dad was like a father to me. And you mentioned inspiring young people. I'm not so young. I'm right behind you. I just turned 60. So he inspired me. And I remember, as I told you, sitting there watching both Democratic conventions and both runs, and your dad telling me that I was somebody. And that keep hope alive, keep hope alive, keep hope alive. And I know that people talk about, this person, Obama, being a great orator. I think your dad was the best orator of our time. There's no one who could give a speech and stir a crowd like the darn Jesse Jackson. I mean, make you stand to your feet, and emotion that just kept you on the edge of your seat and made your heart pound. And talk about being there. He was there for everything. So I don't want to disrupt your birthday, because I do believe it should be a celebration of life. Just as you celebrated his life, you should celebrate your life. But I just wanted to tell you that about your family and you, and my hearts and thoughts are with you. And I'll see you guys in Chicago soon. I love you, and happy birthday. How about
Thank
that?
you,
I
Don.
hope you're
Thank
enjoying
you,
it.
Don. I love you very much. Thanks, Don, for spending this time with us.
That's it. We're done. You're kicking me off. Hi, everybody. Hi, panel. Sorry to disrupt, but I just wanted to hug this man and tell him how much I love him. So happy birthday to you.
Hey, thanks, Don. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Brother Jackson, you asked me. I'd just like to. You asked me about legacy, and I have to say this: most extraordinary legacy of your father and your mother are you and your brothers and sisters. When I watched you all, 5 brilliant, eloquent, politically astute folk. Great orators. It's extraordinary. That's an important legacy and an important model, man. It's something that I don't know that America has ever seen. We have a joke in the White House now talking about his family, man. They're a bunch of crooks. Nobody has shown what you all shown, and that matters. That's because I remember when the first time he ran, you were all on the stage. You said, "We are the Jacksons." I remember folks saying, "Damn, that's right. That's right. They got the Kennedys, we got the Jacksons." It's still very inspiring. And at the Saturday service, I sat there in awe. And brother, I can't wait till you get back in Congress, man. I'm listening to you and I'm saying, oh my Lord, he's able to bring everything together. So I hate to interrupt. I just had to get that off my chest.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much, Dr. Hendricks, in this reflection. There's been a level of symbiosis between my father's thinking and mine, because I fielded a lot of his calls. Some people called him looking for me. When I had highs, he had highs. When I had lows, he had lows. Whenever the news media was chasing him down, they were really chasing us down. And so we developed a kind of an interesting symbiosis over the course of our friendship, over the course of our love and mutual respect for each other. Dr. Sipes, from your perspective, the legacy of Jesse Jackson.
Interesting, because I'm not coming from a religious tradition. I remember particularly in 1988, I was living in the Bay Area, and your father came to town, and I was working with an SEIU local, and I had to get the president to the speech right on time, and I just had a motorcycle, so I put her on the back of my motorcycle and went tearing through the streets of San Francisco to get her there. And your father, it was amazing that he brought so many people, different racial groups, different ethnicities, ages, classes. He brought people together and inspired us. And I think that's that inspiration that I remember back to 1988 was something that I always thought of him. I think his whole way of acting and the way of who he was and how he tried to promote good people and good thinking and things like that. I think that's some of his legacy that I certainly responded to.
I appreciate that. I do have the same question for P.L. Da Silva when we come forward. I'm Jesse Jackson Jr., listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. More on Wealthy Wednesdays with P.L. Da Silva when we come forward on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
While you're stuck in traffic, we can at least bring you up to speed on the news of the day. You're listening to Jesse Jackson Jr. only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs. Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit casmpvolunteer.org.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-529-2856, 800-529-2856, or biglou.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one.
1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA Talk 1580 stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage career track jobs. The LA Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. And they are advocating for a fair deal for black workers in the new Los Angeles City Charter. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing, or learn about union apprenticeship programs and trade registries, please visit lablackworkercenter.org. That's lablackworkercenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis and build a more equitable Los Angeles. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Now back to more of Jesse Jackson Jr. on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. 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 King Quality drops the beat. Come on and talk with me.
I'm Jesse Jackson Jr. Welcome aboard to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. On my 61st birthday on KBLA Talk 1580. It's Wealthy Wednesdays on the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show, and I have none other than our regular contributor on Wealthy Wednesdays, Dr. P.L. De Silva, and our very special guest, Dr. Sipes. Gentlemen, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show.
Thank you.
P.L., I have a difficult question for you, and we've got 8 minutes for you to take your time and respond. Attending the funeral of the Reverend Jesse Jackson included the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo attended the funeral of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. The President of Colombia from South America, each with their own security details, as well as State Department, U.S. government details, as well as U.S. Secret Service details, indicating and signaling that these guys are the real deal. Why would these three men need a Jesse Jackson?
So, I wrote this ode to your dad, and I said that his was a life that carried the rainbow. That's your father, right? And you know, he was a towering giant of the civil rights movement, and therefore he's a magnet that attracts not only people but also leaders, African leaders, South American leaders, and that was his character. He was a magnet. And we must also salute the fact that he is actually one of the architects of modern American conscience, right? That is what makes him special. And he kept hope alive during his lifetime. And the question we have to answer is, will we? So that is a question that all of us need to answer, as well as all the leaders who attended your father's funeral. The onus is now on us. And will we keep hope alive? The baton has been passed. And we need to fight and win and defeat the powers, the evil powers that are running this country, that is destroying this country, dividing this country. We have become a deeply divided society, like all these countries that we saw in other countries, right? Where there were civil wars, there were all sorts of chaos and mayhem. We are going down that track. So we need to keep your father's hope alive, be courageous, and take on these demonic forces that have this country in thrall.
Pio, let me take this opportunity to introduce to some and present to others a young man who has risen to the occasion, whose leadership in our family is nothing short of extraordinary. A young man that has handled the arrangements of my father and has cared for my mother and has really, really taken the time to allow our family to mourn with the general public. His attention to detail is reinvigorating the National Rainbow Coalition, and I'm so very proud of him at this hour. He's such an amazing person. My younger brother, Yousef Jackson, joins us on my 61st birthday. Yousef, welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on your first appearance on our show.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me, Jesse. Thank you for that very beautiful and warm introduction. I'm honored to work with you and Jonathan and our mother and the cadre of amazing advisors who have who are taking forward the Rainbow Push Coalition with me as their leader in front. But I will say that Reverend Jackson has a lot of foot soldiers. And the wonderful thing about taking leadership at this time is that I continue that the leadership and the advisory committees have continued to avail themselves to us and to me. So I feel like I'm not alone. I feel like I have a lot of wisdom carried forward, the same wisdom at one level that helped carry our father forward. I had not intended to, I wasn't aware of your topic today, Jesse, but obviously our family is going through a heavy period of grieving and of loss and of contextualization of our father's work. And there's also some reconciliation of our father's work with him as a father and as a leader for those of us who are his offspring. So we have to have time to sort through that. But I wanted to say to you, happy birthday. Happy 61st birthday, Jesse Jackson Jr. You look like you're aging in reverse, Mr. Jesse Jackson Jr. Buttons. Who's that guy?
That's Joey Jackson.
Yeah. But happy birthday, man. I'm excited for your show. I pray that it is God's will that he give you an opportunity to help shape policy in this nation and give you a victory on Tuesday. I think the country needs your voice elevated in the Congress again. You have my full support, and since I'm in your district, you have my vote, my household vote. I look forward to punching that ticket for you again after so many years. So I love you, Jesse. Happy birthday. Enjoy your show. I look forward to coming back at some point soon and talking about the work of the National Rainbow Push Coalition. There's a lot of work to do. One of the things our father taught us was we have the power in our hands. He used to give an example of Moses preparing to cross the Red Sea. And in a moment of faithlessness, Moses dropped his ordinary looking crooked wooden stick that they called a rod or a staff in a moment of faithlessness in God. And there's one part of the story that suggests that rod turned into a snake and became actually a threat to him. But when he regained his faith, he picked up that snake. It turned back into a rod. That rod was empowered with God's power, and it opened the Red Sea, and he was able to take his people across to freedom. So we have rods, we have tools. One of our tools is the voter registration process and our ability to vote. We are here not because of some fait accompli. We're in this position because we've lost this election by the margin of our despair, by the margin of our frustration. We got a little bit too cute thinking, there are these problems with men and women, so forth and so on. And we voted for what we got. And if we vote the margin of our hope, we will take back the Congress, take back the Senate, and take back the White House. And that's what the Rainbow Push is working on at our convention in June, and then our voter registration drive throughout this summer, and then going to the polls in November.
I'm going to have you back on our show to go through the entire Rainbow Agenda under your leadership. I'm so very proud of you, Yousef. You're listening to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward. On my 61st birthday, my family and friends have been stopping by.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Yousef.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. Aaliyah Henderson, the Black Cleveland mother accused of killing her 2 young daughters, appeared in court today as the case moves forward.
Your case is being referred to the grand jury at the request of the state of Ohio. Your bond is set at $2 million.
According to WKYC, prosecutors say the bodies of 10-year-old Amor Wilson and 8-year-old Mila Chapman were discovered in suitcases buried in a shallow grave earlier this month. Henderson faces 2 counts of aggravated murder. President Trump says Iran's Navy and Air Force have been destroyed. Trump praised the U.S. military. He added the operation against Iran will continue. And tickets for the one-night-only showings of the Michael Jackson biopic Michael go on sale today. The early screening will take place April 22nd, with the wide release set for April 24th. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are 6-1 in their last 7 games after beating Minnesota Tuesday night, 120-106 at Crypto.com. Luka Doncic had a triple-double with 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. No LeBron last night. He missed his 3rd straight game with a sore elbow and a bruised hip. Until last night, Kobe Bryant's 81 points against Toronto in 2006 was the 2nd highest single-game total in NBA history. The 2nd highest game now belongs to Miami Heat forward Bam Adebayo. The 8-year veteran dropped 83 last night in Miami's 150-129 win over Washington. Wilt Chamberlain is number 1 with his 100-point game in 1962 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Adebayo passed LeBron for the most points in a game in Miami franchise history. LeBron had 61 against Charlotte in 2014. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort is now officially over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show. Oh, 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 come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. Come on and talk with me. Come on and listen to me. KBLA, Talk 1580, download the app.
Jesse Jackson Jr., welcome forward to the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show on KBLA Talk 1580. It is turning into a birthday party for me right here on KBLA Talk 1580. So grateful for Phil De Silva in the last hour, our regular contributor, but in this hour, none